Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.
Dig a little deeper and talk about why we may be seeing some of these record rainfall totals and historic flood events and how they're changing, and why we could see more of these in the future. So we want to bring in our specialist Carl Parker right now. And Carl, we've really had an onslaught of this happening for about a month or so now. How are these rivers changing?
Well, we've gotten clobbered, as you mentioned, and the main
Hey guys, we're tracking another clipper, and we are also tracking that atmospheric river moving into the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to start things out right now into the Northeast, where we've been getting some snow squalls. Now, as we take a look at the radar, what's on it looks very light. In fact, a lot of what you see is actually not reaching the ground. It's what we call virga, where the reasons, including being in the top 5 for costliest disasters since 1980. So that was a very devastating storm, and people are still recovering from that one. It was a busy season when it comes to numbers. We used up every single name on the list. We made it all the way through Wanda, and there's a look at all the storms that developed and all the different tracks that they took them. So there you can see 21, as Tevin mentioned, 7 were hurricanes, and of those 4 were major hurricanes, but 8 of them made landfall in the U.S. And when we go back and we look at these numbers, some of them we remember really well. We all remember Ida. We all remember Elsa as well. But remember Nicholas? Do you remember Fred? Those were actually billion-dollar disasters for the U.S. as well. And I think people maybe remember those a little bit less unless you were directly impacted by them. It's also very interesting and notable this season that once we got past Sam, we didn't have any other major hurricanes that developed. Things really cut off pretty dramatically. Since October 29th, no hurricane-strength tropical cyclones were issued. So it was a very quiet end to the season. Across this region, along Interstate 91, as well as along 95 here. So Providence, stretching over towards Norwich. Don't be shocked if you get a couple of flurries, but this is going to be inconsequential. Affect your commute. Now, that's going to be a different story along Interstate 81 north of Syracuse as you head up towards Watertown. This snow is still fairly light, and you can even see some of the rain trying to mix in here. We've got the warmer lake temperatures compared to some of the atmospheric temperatures, and that's why we've got a little bit of a mix. But we could get some more significant accumulations there, especially later on this evening and into the overnight. We also have cold air blowing over the warmer Great Lakes into the western parts of the lake. So Marquette, you could get a couple of light snow showers in northern parts of lower Michigan. This isn't much more than flurries. Little to no accumulation is going to be expected with that. Got a little weak disturbance that's been trying to bring some rain here, very close to the I-70 corridor here into parts of Kansas. Notice that's kind of shifting southward. Most of this isn't reaching the ground. You really got to look at that darker green band. That's probably just some very light rain, but it's having a hard time verifying that with observations in the area. And then we'll take you on up here towards the Dakotas, a weak little disturbance. This is the beginnings of our next system that's going to be moving on in. And then the Pacific Northwest, of course, we've been talking about this atmospheric river. This one arrived late last night, early this morning. We've got more rain showers along the I-5 corridor. Unfortunately, this is stretching from Everett all the way on up towards Bellingham and on over into the Canadian border. And that's where we're getting some of the heavier rain showers expected. And that's going to continue through tonight into tomorrow as well. Notice Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass. Our snow levels are really high, up there around 10,000 feet with this next event. So the passes, we're looking at just rain, so you shouldn't have any problems getting through there. And then taking you over towards the Olympic Peninsula, that's where we're starting to see some of the moderate rains begin to move on in. It's going to be tough here, I think, for at least another 24 hours or so. Now, so we'll start you out here into the Northeast, and this is our visible satellite, so you can see that it goes dark. That's because the sun is going down here. But what I want to point out is that, this has been kind of a gusty day here. We've got the cloudy conditions. We have some light snow squalls that have been developing, and just a really cool feature that you can see some of these wave clouds as the wind moves up and over and down some of the higher terrain here into parts of Pennsylvania. Here's a look at where the snow showers are coming down right now. Most of this is is very, very light. Some of what you're seeing is actually not even reaching the ground right now. But the greater concern is what's going to happen later on this evening. I think the snowfall rates are going to start to pick up, and we're going to get some heavier bands along with elevation, and things will really start to kick into higher gear, I think, when it comes to the snowfall. So Watertown, yeah, you're getting a little bit of light snow and mist is your latest observation, and then you'll experience that as you continue to head southward on I-81 closer towards the Syracuse area. We do have winter weather advisories that are in effect here. These really don't kick in until 7 o'clock Eastern time for today, and that's because that's when we're expecting that more direct fetch coming on through and a little bit more energy. Temperatures cooling down will have a greater difference between the atmosphere and the water temperatures to create a little bit more instability, and then along with the Tug Hill Plateau, that also provides a little bit more lift to enhance some of the snowfall totals. So we'll have a chance of these snow showers continuing through your Wednesday morning. By Wednesday afternoon, a lot of this begins to settle down, but then our next clipper will be coming on in. How much snowfall are we talking about? Most areas just a dusting at the most, but there you can see on the Tug, that's going to be the main area to watch for the potential of 3 to 5 inches of snow.